So with that programming news out of the way, let us get to the main event, the UT's Mark Zeigler. Mark, I apologize for not having you in after your article on football participation rates. You were traveling, then we couldn't, then I just spaced it. I'm getting old. So let me do the make good now. You recently wrote an article about a problem that's been around for a little bit, but it's Madison High School doesn't have a freshman team, and suddenly everyone starts to take notice. Pick it up from there.
This is something that's been percolating for 5, 6 years as a CTE issue, as kids start to specialize at a younger age, they get pushed into different sports, parents are concerned, and the numbers have been dropping, but this is really the first year I think we're starting to see. We saw a couple teams, Castle Park, not play games because of numbers.
Back to back.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple other teams down in the 20s, maybe the high teens, and I don't think it's going away. I don't think we're going to see this come back, but it's something that people that watch JV teams are starting to fold or be merged with freshman teams. We're headed in that direction.
Is this a safety thing? Is it a demographic thing? Is our population changing? What are the contributing factors to a declining participation rate?
It's all of the above, I think. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, it's CTE and parents won't let their kids play because they're worried about concussions. I think that's too easy and too simplified. I think it's everything. I think our sports culture has changed. You don't see the three-sport athlete anymore. If football is not a year-round sport, other sports are. You see a sport like lacrosse that it's really grown, or soccer over the last 20, 30 years, and those have become year-round sports with the club system, and that's what kids are gravitating to, and they don't play other sports.
Are we changing the way we raise males in our society?
Might be. I mean, that's a really good question, and I think that's one of the issues. I think there's two issues with football decline that's kind of sad. Is one, the toughness issue. It's a tough sport. I mean, you got to be tough to play it. The second one is a sense of community. I mean, this is a fabric of our community. Friday Night Lights is something that every community understands and knows, and the cheerleaders and the bands and the concession stands, it's all part of it. And to see that start to go away is kind of sad.
I think where the rubber's going to hit the road is when the insurance costs get that's going to be where we're going to start losing schools.
Particularly with public schools. I mean, that's where the insurance can really be a hit. We might just see it in private schools.
For people who are whistling past the graveyard to say, hey, football participation is still the biggest sport in the but that's not going to stay that way forever.
No, and we'll see where the CTE thing goes, but every time there's another study comes out or you see somebody that has suffered from it, parents take note, and that hurts it.
The NFL is melting down in front of our eyes. Does that factor into moms and dads' decision at a high school level?
Yeah, because a lot of sports are driven by the highest level, because every kid dreams of playing at that level, and when that is knocked down a little bit in either the eyes of the kid or the parents, that has a residual effect, I think, going down the road to the youth.
And yet, the college game is still prosperous. You're still full of stadiums, big TV deals. Why is the college game immune?
And you'd think it wouldn't be, because these are bastions of higher education. You'd think that somebody would say, maybe my alma mater, like a school like Stanford or Northwestern, would say, we've done a lot of research here. This is not a safe sport. We're going to be the leaders and drop it. But you haven't heard a peep about that. And I think a lot of it's tribalism. I mean, this is your alma mater. They represent you on the football field, and people forget about all the external stuff with football for a Saturday afternoon. I think that's why it's still going strong.
All right, so let's switch gears ever so slightly. I've used this graphic in a couple sportscasts, so I'll pardon my repetition. But now we have a couple more professional teams. And the MLS thing is hovering there on the horizon. Is there enough San Diego entertainment dollar money for people to spend to support the 9 professional
I mean,
clubs?
In theory, yes, because you look at most minor league sports, and they're in very small communities. And San Diego's always been this golden gleaming oasis on the horizon for minor league sports, because they see, wow, if we could just get 3,000 people a night, and you've got 3 million people there, wow, we don't have to draw that many people, we'll come. San Diego is a big league town. We're a major event town. And if you look at most of the minor league sports, they've never made it here. And I hope they do, because they really offer something. But that's why you're seeing them flood back in this market, because if there's no NFL team, we'll just grab some of that market share. But it's a lot more complicated than that. We
have 15 seconds, and I apologize for stacking this at the bottom. Aztec basketball program is underway. Everyone talks about Jalen McDaniel's return. Tell me a name that is going to be a difference maker in the season.
Nathan Mensah. Keep an eye on him. He's a freshman center, 6'10", 7-foot-plus wingspan. All the freshmen are very good. I've been out the last 2 days, and there's, you have veterans, and then you have the freshmen, and there really isn't that much drop-off. That's what's really struck me the first couple practices.
Is it going to be a special year?
It could be. They have the ingredients to make it a very good year, but you know what? They're a program. They should be like that every year.
All right, Mark Zeigler, everybody. Hey, Rich Moran's coming up in the next hour. We're going to be talking about all the NFL woes. And don't forget, I'll be with Coach Katera on his radio show tonight. I went a day early, so I'm going to actually show up on time this time for the right day. The KUSI News at 5 p.m. is over. The KUSI News at 6 p.m. is about to begin.